he needs to be up on that, on those numbers we talked about earlier. I'll make sure it's mentioned to him.
Okay. So we'll probably reporting to new numbers to a third person? Another select person in the office then, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, there'll be another one, because the election, there'll be another person, there'll be three, back to three.
That insurance for the property we take over.
Yeah. We have, like every town, we have, people who can't pay their taxes, so we end up paying the property. Are we covered in that, on that, people that don't leave their property? You know, May's got that funny little law there that I'm sure you're familiar with. Do we need to be covered on something that we're not?
So give me a typical scenario.
Well, a typical scenario would be somebody
Don't pay them their taxes, 3 years we take over the house.
Right. Now,
Now
we own it, but we have not evicted them.
We own
If we evict them, we own them. Yeah, I think you understand that law, the main law
Yeah.
that says that. So they don't get evicted. Are we responsible, or are they responsible for themselves? They live there illegally.
In terms of the insurance? If you take it over
In terms of the
time?
insurance, yeah, are we covered for any, do we need to be covered for anything there?
If
Or
it's
does our
empty.
legal and stuff
Right.
take care of it?
Well, anytime you have vacant property for a period of over 30 days, most insurance policies have a far lower statute that protects. You lose a lot of your coverage.
Right.
Because the insurance companies feel like if
Well,
the
the thing
property is
is,
vacant, it's gonna be more
We
likely.
wanna make
to
sure
have
that the
loss.
town is protected against
They
somebody else
don't
coming back to
own
us.
it. We own
Right.
Yeah, but they still live on it.
Just so I don't misspeak, let me look into it. I'll call the underwriter and ask him about it. Okay?
Right now, we're just going by the state law.
I think I know what the answer is, but,
I think you do too.
so let me just
But it wouldn't hurt to,
double check. So
wouldn't hurt if we already had something ready to kind of guide us along.
Alright.
Pretty sure we're all set on it, but there's no sense in.
Getting sued for whatever. We're getting sued by employees, for example.
That's a different situation.
I know, but we covered.
Yeah, that's under your legal as well as your, it's not much. You wanna increase it?
No, I want to know if we're covered.
I saw it right back in the beginning when we were just thumbing through that. If I can find it again.
That's a good question.
Oh. We just wanna make sure we know where we stand on it, for sure.
When the town gets sued, we're covered by insurance.
And we've got some liabilities
Well,
that
you
depends
notice-
on who, right?
For property and care custody control, that's usually where you have your liability. When you have liabilities for, the main two things is liability for bodily injury and property damage.
Yeah.
So when you have property in your care custody control, it would probably fall in that category.
Yeah.
So I just need to make sure that with the underwriters deal on that, just to make sure. That's a good question. Because technically it is your care custody control until whatever situation gets cleared up, they pay their taxes or property goes back or. it's
So we
just
have to give them,
interesting.
if they pay off their debt to the satisfaction of the town, then we have to give them a quick claim deed.
Mhm.
So it's saying that the property is theirs again.
Right.
But what happens in that?
Until the period.
Are we protected in that?
Right.
I know it gets a little sticky if we
Yeah.
tell them they're evicted. We're better off just to sell the property as is. Whoever buys the property takes it at like that,
Right.
with occupants. That's the reason. Now usually you do an auction or a sealed bid.
That's a good one. All right. That'll be a good one to work on.
Something to do,
Just
something
homework.
different, huh? Okay.
Anything else?
No, I think we're pretty well gone over it, right? So that puts about back in our part, and then we get back once again on.
I'll get back to you. Just keep it out there.
All right.
You know, she's basically trying to pursue and do that, right?
Yours.
No,
No, Jordan Church, that's conservation.
Okay.
okay. Right, you don't have one, right?
Door prize.
Just making sure you got enough to go around.
Sometimes you get a toaster, sometimes you get one of those, right? Here's the driver's list.
Okay. So,
Just update that when you get a chance and let me know if there's any additions or.
oh, I'll guarantee you, I'm gonna hand it right back to you again. He has a complete list at all times, and
All right.
it's changing. That's the reason I hand it back to you.
Okay.
So that's, I think we're gonna have to deal with him that way on this stuff, so that you know what's going on, because there's quite a few changes going on, as far as people coming and going, they hire different people,
Okay.
okay? And a number of changes. So we may have to set up something in general there, but
Sure.
okay. Hey, these are trained, qualified people that we're talking about, but it just changed, the name changed. What, 6 months from now, maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 different probably, possibly.
Well, I mean, you have coverage, it's just that if someone's on a permanent driver, they probably should be out.
Right.
It's not like,
Right.
oh God, this person's,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
permissive use. So,
yeah,
it's a scheduled
Right.
vehicle.
yeah, so if somebody forgets to put a name on the list. Yeah.
Right. But it's, I don't know if people are getting too many red flags over that.
Right,
I mean, you have a permissive use, and it's like you get in your car and the guy down the road and he gets in an accident.
yeah,
You have permission to drive the car, so
Yeah.
it's just, the insurance companies like to know the people who are driving the car or vehicle frequently so they can put them in a scheduled drive, because frankly, if they have a bad driving record, they're gonna want it, they want to know. That's really why.
yeah, yes,
More than-
absolutely. And they're doing background checks and things like that too, so, it's something you can speak with him about,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm sure if he's done a pre-screen before they get in, then he
Yeah.
hires them, then he's
Yeah.
not have to work for the insurance
They
company.
are, at all times now, I believe.
That's good.
Okay,
This is,
do you wanna go to public session on this, or
it's a public session.
you got a question?
Public
Go
session.
right ahead.
Actually, I don't. I have a general question. So we have a growing number of people interested in volunteering in this town, and one of the things that keeps coming up is that if people are volunteering, they're not covered under our insurance. So, considering as you're here, I thought I would ask what the town's policy covers as far as volunteers.
Well, volunteers are covered under the main statute as in work comp, but they usually have to show that there's a reason for them being, there isn't any type of volunteer.
Right.
If they're doing just normal
Right.
work around the town or cleanup, that's one thing, is if they're doing fire and rescue,
That's
then they're gonna
different.
want, so. it really
Actually,
depends on the type of-
specifically, I would be speaking about. So a few of us had gotten together and were working in some of the smaller cemeteries. The town said we had to become a committee in order to be covered, be sworn in, like the whole thing, in order to be covered under the insurance. Recently, we had Lebanon Cleanup Day, and we had people cleaning up on the sides of the roads and other people driving around in vehicles picking them up. Another thing which I'm on the agenda to speak about today is like a swap shop kind of area at the town transfer station. And continually we keep hearing that volunteers aren't covered. So I just needed to make sure, and it's good that you're here
Yeah.
because I'm going to talk about that in a little while. So.
Well, it's, once again, I probably should just clarify with the carrier what their position is, but they're probably gonna wanna know what the type of work's being performed,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe, you know, a little bit about what the person, you know, what their training is, or if it's just a simple.
So for something like cleanup day, we'd have to list every person that's going to be cleaning up trash on the side of the road, all the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts and.
Yeah, well, yeah, I can look into it more, I just wanna make sure.
Could you please?
Yeah, I'll
And
find out for sure, because it's something that you encounter a lot in towns.
right, because there's always somebody volunteering to do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll look into it a little further for you and just let you know. I'll come back out.
The second part of my question was regarding these town properties that the town is taking for taxes, and then people are still living in them, because I wasn't quite sure. So if there's a
We've
family
already
living in
discussed
there,
it.
I know I have a question on it, Royce. So if there's a family living in there, let's say a fire breaks out and somebody is killed or injured, and the town owns the deed for the property, who then is responsible for that insurance? That was, and I know you're gonna look into it and get back with an answer, but that was, you know, or if the back deck is rotted and a kid falls off and breaks their shoulder or breaks their arm, who is responsible for carrying that type of liability insurance if the town actually owns the deed to that property?
Yeah, well, I think it'll come under that thing of care, custody, and control again, very likely. But, you know, they teach you when you're doing insurance school or when you're doing insurance, they'll say, is something covered? It depends. That's that's the answer they give you all the time, and it sounds trite, but the claims adjuster's gonna come in, you can have something that's, you think is locked, it's a completely covered claim, shouldn't be any problem, the claims adjuster come in and see it totally different. So there's always some way that it's gonna come down to how the claim is interpreted by the claims adjuster. I mean, it has to be a covered cause of loss, it has to be reported right away, you have those reporting duties. But ultimately, if you have what you think is a claim that's gonna be covered, it should be on the policy, it happened, you reported it, all those things you did, the claims adjuster is the person that's gonna come in and really determine how it gets flushed out. I mean, I can give you so many examples over the years where I've had claims for clients and you think it's a slam dunk, and I'll give you an example. I had one client that they run a property where people, residential, where people live. And they had a big hole in the roof from a big rainstorm, and the water's flowing into the damn building, and it's ruining property every second going by. And so they had the guy get up there and start sealing it up and start doing the work right away before the rain even stopped.
Yeah.
And because they didn't take enough, I figured the thing was perfectly fine, but they didn't take enough pictures. They didn't take enough pictures before.
So they were
document
denied?
the claims adjuster before they touched it, what they did, because then the guy who comes to fix it, that could be a claim of he didn't do something right.
Right.
Yeah.
So because they didn't do that, it was a $20,000 claim that they had denied. So it's just, for me to just sit here and go, this is the way it's gonna be, it's really hard, so.
It's not always cut and dry.
No.
Thank you. That was,
Bad answer.
no, but it was a decent explanation. I appreciate it. I understand it better.
Yeah, but I'll look into that question as far as, what happens on the volunteers.
Okay.
I think I have a feeling that those two, I'll be sharing them with my colleagues who have all these towns and all these other towns we have across the state of Maine.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
We probably have like 50 or 60 of them anyway,
yeah.
so we'll probably be sharing those answers. So
Well,
give me something to look
but
at.
maybe it will save you some trouble later.
Maybe.
I don't know. Might save us some trouble. Okay.
I'll let you know when I get back to you.
Thank
You'll
you.
be here the next time.
Oh, yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yes.
See you later. Nice to
Thanks
see you.
again, Mike.
Take care. Nice to see you. We'll check it out.
Yeah. we're off to other things.
More
Thank
pressing
you.
things in
Yeah.
insurance, I'm
If,
sure.
why don't you, do you know treasurer in there, Jordan?
I'll go introduce myself.
Yep, go right ahead, and why don't you go over that, explain to him about, oh my goodness, let me find it again. It was the page that had the yellow mark on it, I think. No, I guess it was past, it was, how,
Okay, thanks.
how this all gets set. In other words, if we have a problem, the claims thing,
Oh, you mean with
Because-
the
yeah, because-
medical indemnity?
yeah,
For work
he's
comp?
our HR officer too.
Okay.
So I think he probably could stand a little bit of information on that stuff.
All right, I'll talk to him.
All right, Mike. Thank you.
Thank
See ya.
you.
Bye.
Thanks, Jordan. Okay. Water out too bad, yeah.
Well, it's 4 o'clock, so we can open the bids.